one of the lectures I heard, and you said that 99% of the entrepreneurs that were attending would fail. I'm like, shit, that's refreshing, because I hear all the fluff on the other side. All of these life coaches selling so many words, giving that 24-hour boost of morale, which then crashes. And I'm like, okay, at least this guy is real. The question I have, which is also related to what you just said, in a time where we have the internet, me and you, I'm 38 now, I don't know how old you were. We didn't have the internet in the beginning. Today, they have every tool, every search to not fail. Why do you think so many entrepreneurs still fail?
Because it's hard. It's hard. Entrepreneurship got cool. Look at you and I. Look at you and I right now, dressed and acting at 38 and 44. When we were 6 and 7 years old, people at 38 did not wear the Travis Scott's, like it's a different culture.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard. Number two, entrepreneurship got cool, and that's the biggest issue right now.
It's trending.
It's trending. People it's crazy. Like I'm the coolest I've ever been at 44 because entrepreneurship got cool, and now everybody wants to be one. Just like a rapper, just like an athlete. It's that cool.
Correct.
That's dangerous.
It is.
Because first of all, every guy wants to do it because it helps them get girls. 90% of them should not be entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is super lonely. It's anxiety filled. I was telling D-Rock yesterday, I hate being on this part of the world because when we go to sleep, there's still action going on in New York, and New York is where most of my headaches are.
And I can't attend to them.
And I can't attend to it, so I go to sleep not as comfortably.
Yeah,
it's lonely, right?
I relate. I mean, I wake up at 3 a.m., write a note so I just don't forget, and then it's quite messed up sometimes.
And right now, people raise capital so they can pretend they're winning. When you raise capital, you can disguise
success.
Correct. So I'm talking about it not because I want to say I'm an entrepreneur and you're not. I'm saying it because I know what happens next. What happens next is the money stops flowing because there's a global economic slowdown.
Correct.
And I do believe that 90%, 95% of the people that we know that have startups will fail because they didn't build a business, they were building a deck to raise more capital.
Yeah, they're in it for a completely different reason.
They're not in for the game, they're in it for how it makes them look and the potential of money.
Yes,
and
that's very dangerous. Like, this is what I tell a lot of the students in universities. I'm like, you don't see somebody who has a cafeteria making money, you're like, he's making money, I should open a cafeteria. And that's what you see. You see cafeteria, dry cleaner, I'm like, just because he made money, you shouldn't, why are you doing it? So you have to have passion, but you have to have the skill for it. Do something you're passionate about, but you're actually good at.
Or if you have the passion and your skill is okay, settle into knowing that you're only going to make 130,000.
Accept that.
Aim for happiness, be self-aware. I'm not the best fashion designer, but I love it so much that I know I'm not gonna make $5 million a year, but I love it so much, right? Nobody's talking about that.
That's awareness, man. People are not aware, they're delusional.
Look, this is real for me. I want to make the $130,000 take-home fashion designer happy. The problem is right now every fashion designer wants to become Off-White.
Correct.
They are like, there are kids running around thinking that if they don't build $1 billion company, it's not a big company. We've completely lost sense of reality. It's completely broken.
One thing to complement what we're saying is I've done a bit of research, thanks to Nikki, that you at one point were posting, I think, a video every day on YouTube for years, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and this is, I think, what people don't realize is the hard work, the focus, the consistency, and the quality.
Nikki, what you weren't able to research was from 2007 to 2011, I replied to every single email and tweet I got until 4 in the morning. Nobody knew who I was, so I would go into Twitter search wine terms and jump into conversations that people would tweet having this Pinot Noir, and I would reply. They didn't know me, and I would reply, that's a good one. Did you try the year before? And slowly but surely, for hours and hours and hours, for years and years and years, I built a foundation that years and years and years later started the creation of what people see now. And meanwhile, people start a TikTok account, post 5 times, don't go viral, and they're like, this sucks. And actually, a lot of what works for me, and this might help others, I think so much of who I've become has to do with my listening, not my talking. I read comments, DMs, emails. That's how I learn. People tell me things. But you know what's interesting? I grew up in the US when entrepreneurship was nothing and school was the
Top thing.
And so now to see it the reverse, that it's funny. That's why I'm pushing against entrepreneurship for everyone.
You want to reach that balance.
I just want self-awareness. Individual, him, her. Individual. What makes you happy? What are you good at? And then more, you said something very smart. And I added something, but I think we should go back to it. If you love something and you're good at it, it's going to be a big win.
Correct.
I think the nuance on that is if you love something and you're not good at it, it might be worth doing because being happy is more important than making money, but you have to be honest with yourself that you're only gonna make $40,000 a year being a painter because nobody's gonna buy your painting.
I like that.
If you learn to live on a $40,000 a year budget, this is, you know what's funny? I've realized something about me. I'm like, right, I'm cooking an entire meal with the things I talk about. So in individual ingredients, when people look at it, it might be one thing, but if you take all the things I'm saying, it's an entire meal. Okay, and I like how you reacted. I like that. And I like it too, because I think it can bring a lot of happiness. And if you understand how the internet works, there's a lot of people that can be much happier if they settle into, I'm a $63,000 a year t-shirt maker. You see where I'm going?
Correct.
But it takes another ingredient, and I know this is a good one because I'm really getting them right now. You have to live a life on the means of $63,000. You can't be a $63,000 a year t-shirt guy, but mommy and daddy are giving you $100,000 a year so that you can live in a better neighborhood and drive a BMW, because that's gonna lead to resentment between mom and dad and you, and entitlement from you. You have to, if you wanna be a big shot, I love when people, you know, some of my more young liberal friends are like, I just wanna be happy. And I'm like, no, you wanna just do art, but you want your parents to pay for it.
Yeah.
We need more real conversations.
Absolutely.
We have to put making $63,000 a year because you love t-shirts and that's all you can do on Shopify and at the flea market. You have to buy a home that you can afford. You have to go to the Holiday Inn, not the Ritz-Carlton. If we can get to that, it could get big. It could get real big. And the way we do that is by us applauding our friends who make $63,000 and go Holiday Inn, not, look, I went to the Ritz-Carlton.
You know what's funny? I got a comment. A guy told me I was in economy with my kids and I took a picture and I posted it on the story. And he goes, Anas, I don't get you. I'm like, excuse me? And he goes, one day you're in a private jet, the other day you're in first class, now you're in economy. I'm like, so when I'm in economy, I'm not supposed to post. That's what you're telling me. I'm like, bro, it doesn't matter. I'm with my family. I'm happy. It doesn't change the fact that I have to, I have to run off to first class because I'll become, but that's the world.
Not the world I live in.
Neither me, but I guess we're the strangers at some point, which hopefully becomes the common.
It's gonna become the common.
Yeah.
Because this is gonna break. There's so much unhappiness in the world.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Okay, I'll go to different questions.
I love the journey. I love the journey.
Because it makes you cherish the win.
You know what's funny? I will actually argue that one of the great one of the things I don't like about Gary is I'm incapable of smelling the roses. I don't like the win. I didn't like my birthday the team, I had a really interesting moment 2 weeks ago. The team did something very sweet for me. My team, Gary, made content and put up my face and a big thing for me in Times Square. And they brought me into an office and they're like, we gotta show you something. And D-Rock and D-Kirk were in Times Square during the hour and were live for me to see it. And I reacted as if they stole my wallet. And a lot of the team doesn't know me that well. And I remember thinking, this sucks because this was so sweet and I'm so grateful, but I'm incapable of faking my emotions. So I don't like.
I know what
you understand?
I do.
It's a vulnerability of mine.
I don't think I'm ever fully satisfied.
You know what's funny? I'm satisfied. You know what's funny? I'm fully satisfied in the game. I'm fully satisfied right now. When I win, I don't like it.
I know.
I don't like it. I just like the game. It's why I think I'm such a good entrepreneur. I don't want the money. I don't want the BMW.
That was actually my next question, but I'm glad you're telling me. Continue. You don't want the BMW.
No. I mean, I'll drive a BMW. It's fine. I don't have one. But no, none of this is for this stuff. All of it is for where do I rank as the best entrepreneurs of all time? Number 37, number 4 billion, number 1, number 19. I'm playing the game, the real game. And I think actually one of the reasons that I think I've become the entrepreneur that is giving back by far the most, in my opinion, to other entrepreneurs with no.
You're adding value. You're for free.
Is because I probably subconsciously think that's my hack to being the best entrepreneur. Because Bezos and some of these they're putting up some real numbers. And I don't think I'm gonna get there. But in my own mind, if I'm judging entrepreneurship on impact, I genuinely think I'm having a huge impact on the next generation of entrepreneurs. And that makes me proud. And wherever that means in ranking, it feels very good.
Any regrets?
You know what's funny? I'm really good at not regretting things, but I will say this. I do believe that I took it too far when it comes to work ethic between 14 and 30. I worked every minute. Nobody will ever know. My mom got emotional about it a couple years ago. She's like, they'll never believe you, because she almost feels bad. My dad too. I mean, I worked every minute, all of that. All of that. Literally every weekend, every summer vacation of my entire adolescence, I worked. And I don't think that's healthy. That's too much. I could have used some balance. So I do regret that a little bit. I do. My problem is it's hard for me to regret, because I think me being so unique has led to so much happiness that I'm trying to challenge myself to actually answer these questions with that, but then I have to say this for the record. And then even as I just told you that, in my chemicals I can feel like, no, I don't regret it, because the extremes that I went through created a very unique voice that leads to all my happiness. I can't.
That's your journey.
It's my journey. I can't. I'm too happy. I'm just deeply happy and grateful. I can't critique